It's the afternoon weather briefing. This is for Thursday, the 2nd of January, 2025. This is James Spann. Very active and interesting weather coming up. We'll have a big rain event late this weekend, Sunday and Sunday night, maybe a strong storm. Very cold next week. And could we have some chance of snow here across the Deep South at the end of next week? Well, all the new 12Z data is in, so we'll look at it together and see if we can find some conclusions here. This is the upper air look today, and again, it's a zonal flow and a dry air mass. We have a cloudless sky statewide. Visible satellite view showing nothing. Obviously nothing on radar. Pretty quiet around the nation today. Very seasonal today. Average high for Birmingham today is 54. We're at 50 now. We've got upper 40s at Cullman and Huntsville. The warm spot, Mobile, they've managed 60 today. We'll check the watch warning map. We note winter storm watches in effect now for parts of Kansas and Missouri in advance of a new system. That's the one that's going to bring the rain down here Sunday and a really big swath of snow in a broad band from Kansas City over to Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. Much more on that in a moment. Obviously, no severe storms through tonight with a cool, stable air mass in place. Tomorrow, maybe some thunder for the coasts of Oregon and Northern California. Nothing severe. Day 3, which is Saturday, there could be some thunder over Oklahoma with that developing system. And then on day 4, which is Sunday, we have a risk of severe storms defined for a pretty good chunk of Mississippi, and that extends into extreme West Alabama. Then back into parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, and eastern Texas, and we'll have much more on this in just a second. Here's a look at rain for the next 7 days, or I should say precipitation, because a lot of what you see north of here will be falling in the form of snow. For Alabama, rain amounts will be around 1 inch from Interstate 20 north, about a ½ inch for South Alabama. And the bulk of this will be Sunday and Sunday night. And by the way, the new drought monitor came in today. Kind of surprising. The numbers really haven't changed that much, despite the big soaking we had this past weekend. We've still got about 35% of the state in some type of drought. So, again, getting some rain in here Sunday, not a bad thing. So, model fans, here we go. We'll take it day by day. The GFS, the 12Z run. This is valid tomorrow afternoon at 3. Northwest flow aloft, and we are sunny and cool, much like today. We start the day around freezing. The high will be in the 50s. Again, very seasonal. So this is Saturday. We're still dry. By the way, tomorrow I should mention there's a clipper producing some light snow over West Virginia, the mountains of Virginia, down into the mountains of western North Carolina. Gatlinburg will probably see some snow from that clipper tomorrow night. But again, amount should be fairly light. So this is Saturday. We're just cold and dry. We start the day in the 20s. Over North Alabama, highs in the 40s for North Alabama, 50s for the southern counties of the state. And our new system, you can see that 997 millibar low developing out over northeast New Mexico with potential for some freezing rain and sleet unfolding over Kansas. And then on Sunday, you can see how this thing just really becomes a high-impact system. Got a 999 millibar surface low at Memphis. North of the low, a really messy winter mix. Freezing rain, sleet, snow. This will be a big impact storm for a lot of folks. And again, the question is, can we see thunderstorms down here? Sunday will be cloudy and windy. The gradient winds will be strong, not related to storms, but the pressure gradient winds. And understand that that's going to create winds gusting to 35, maybe 40 miles an hour, not related to storms on Sunday. But as the surface front, that Arctic front comes in here Sunday night, could there be some strong storms? And again, SPC has defined a risk of severe storms Sunday and Sunday night over extreme West Alabama and much of Mississippi. But the big limiting factor, it's the lack of instability. This is the European depicting the surface-based cape. And again, there's just not that much. And we say this a lot. It doesn't take a lot of instability in the cool season for severe storms to form, but most likely these numbers will be decreasing Sunday night. So again, for the moment, we're not overly concerned about severe storms, but as always, we'll watch model trends carefully. As we often say, We can certainly have a situation where the dynamics can overcome marginal thermodynamics. But again, very windy, rain moving in Sunday, and maybe some thunderstorms across the state Sunday night. And then on Monday, it's going to be just cold, windy, cold, lingering clouds, a strong north wind, maybe some snow flurries for the northern third of the state. We don't expect any impact if that's the case. It'll be very blustery. And again, snow continues to the north and east of here. So here's a look at some of the projected snow totals. This is coming off the national blend of models. And understand, this is just the system that will be affecting these areas up here Sunday, Monday, into Tuesday. But that broad zone there from Kansas City to St. Louis, Indianapolis, Columbus, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, we could see some pretty impressive snow amounts, maybe up in that 10-inch range in spots. And we should mention, too, on the southern flank of that, there could be some freezing rain and ice accumulation through parts of Missouri and Kentucky and Virginia and West Virginia. So if you're traveling north Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, just be aware of that possibility. So this is Tuesday of next week. We're just cold and dry. Let's go to Wednesday of next week. And again, this is where we start to see the fun and games west of the state. And again, this is the GFS. Now, again, we're cold and dry Wednesday of next week. This is January 8th. But if this happens to be correct, look at the snow over Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth, Waco, maybe Austin, Abilene, San Angelo, out into the hill country. That's a whopper of a Texas snowstorm if this verifies. And then this is a week from today, Thursday the 9th. And again, you can see the Arctic trough that brought the cold air moving off the upper Atlantic coast and that big trough coming out across the Great Plains states. And again, that just means the players are on the field here for some type of winter mischief somewhere across the southern states. And this is suggesting Thursday some type of wintry precipitation could be moving in here. So this is late Thursday night coming off the GFS. And again, we're going to take it one model at a time here. Next week, this is late Thursday night, early Friday morning, the 9th and 10th, end of next week. The GFS a little weaker and a little farther to the south with the low in the Gulf, and this is suggesting mostly just light snow for the northern part of Alabama, light rain for the southern part of the state. Not as aggressive as the run we showed you this morning. So looky here, this is the European. You know, this morning it had nothing. Well, guess what? It's back. Now, I will say that it's slower. This is Friday night, around midnight, Friday night, the 10th of January. Again, this is the end of next week, but the European suggesting there might be some light snow for the northern third of Alabama. And for a third opinion, let's look at the Canadian. And how's this for a wild idea? This is Thursday at noon, the 9th of January, and this is suggesting a low far south in the Gulf with snow falling in Mobile, Pensacola, Panama City Beach, Fort Walton, New Orleans. And I would say this is a very clear outlier. I would not accept this solution. But again, looking at the big two here, the GFS and the European, both of these models are showing signals of a wave, a surface low in the Gulf, Arctic air in place, and some type of precipitation in the form of snow or sleet over parts of the deep south. And again, absolutely nobody knows who gets what, how much, timing, societal impact, travel impact. We can't answer that. Nobody can do that right now. Goodness, it's all we can do to answer those questions 1 to 2 days in advance, much less a week in advance. This is a week away. But just be aware we're seeing signals and modeling of a potential wintry weather situation for the Deep South in about a week. Stay tuned. All right, let's go out 10 days. This is Sunday, January 12th. Another trough coming in here, and this is suggesting maybe some rain for far south Alabama, otherwise just cold. Thought I'd show the snow plume coming off the European. We don't show the snow plume that often because we're at a low latitude down here, but again, the European's got 51 members of the ensemble. And notice many more members are now showing some chance of accumulating snow here out there, maybe toward the end of next week or maybe beyond that. And this is just giving us a signal that the pattern looks cold and lively and active through mid-January. So again, just strap in and stay tuned. Here's a look at numbers. And, of course, the one thing we'll guarantee, it's going to be really cold next week. And I don't want to overlook that. Again, this is a big, high-impact cold wave for a lot of people that work in agriculture, industry, utilities. And that high Monday of 41, that could be optimistic. I think Monday we stay in the 30s all day. And again, there could be a few flurries and then highs in the 30s mostly every day for the rest of the week. Lows down toward 20. Some of the colder pockets easily go in the teens next week. And again, just beyond that, there could be another surge of Arctic air. I noticed it was down to 47 below zero at Fort Yukon, Alaska a couple of hours ago. So up in that source region, there's plenty of cold air available. And as we get a snow cover developing to the north, the following Arctic air shots, they don't have time to modify. All right, so this is yesterday's long-range guidance, and I don't expect a lot of change today, but let me dig in here real quick and see if it's in. And it is. And you'll see it change on your screen. And again, there's just not much change. Temperatures well below average. This is for January 10th through the 16th. All right, so there you go. We'll have some interesting discussions ahead. And, of course, I'll be back on the regular school circuit next week. Looking forward to that. It's been a good 2-week break, but always look like getting back on the road. And for those that are new here, we simulcast these every day. We don't do this just during active weather. We do it when the weather's kind of dull. Every day during the week, weekends as needed. In the morning about 5:15, the afternoon about 2:30, 2:45 on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. Some of you could be watching on either one. And we always have supplementary notes over on the blog, alabamawx.com. Thank you so much for watching. Join us this evening if you can. ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock, right back here in Studio A. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.